I'm 78 years old, and I'm going to tell you something that will make most people uncomfortable. But I've reached the age where I don't care about comfort anymore. I care about truth, and the truth is this. Intimacy after 70 is better than it ever was at 30. Not just a little better, profoundly better. And nobody talks about it because we live in a world that treats older bodies like they belong in museums, not in bedrooms. Well, I'm here to change that. My name is Margaret. Most people call me Maggie. I was a nurse for 42 years, and I've been married twice. My first husband, David, passed away in 2003. My second husband, Richard, came into my life when I was 67 years old. And let me tell you something that will shock you. The intimacy I've experienced with Richard in the last 11 years has been deeper, more satisfying, and more alive than anything I knew in my 20s, 30s, or 40s. And I'm going to tell you exactly why. When I was 28, I thought I understood intimacy. I thought I was good at it. David and I had been married for 3 years, and we were young, beautiful, full of energy. But here's what I didn't know then. I was performing every single time. I was worried about how my stomach looked. I was worried about whether I was making the right sounds. I was worried about whether he was comparing me to someone else. I was so busy being watched that I forgot to actually be there. Does that sound familiar to you? I bet it does. I remember one night we were in our little apartment in Boston. David reached for me, and I remember thinking, did I shave my legs? Is the lighting okay? Should I suggest we turn off the lamp? My body was there, but my mind was running a checklist. That's not intimacy. That's a performance review. And I didn't know any better. I thought that was normal. I thought that was what everyone did. Here's the thing about being young. You have the body, but you don't have the presence. You're so worried about being desirable that you forget to actually desire. You're so focused on being wanted that you forget how to want. And that, my friend, is the great tragedy of youth. Now let me tell you about what happened when I turned 70. My body had changed, obviously. I had wrinkles, spots, parts that sagged where they used to stand firm. And you know what? I grieved that. I did. I'm not going to pretend I woke up one morning completely at peace with aging. There were nights I looked in the mirror and cried. There were moments I felt invisible. But something else happened too. Something nobody warned me about. I stopped caring. Not in a sad way. Not in a giving up way. I stopped caring about the performance. I stopped caring about the checklist. Because when you're 70, you realize something profound. Nobody is watching. The audience you spent your whole life performing for, they were never there. They were a fiction you created in your own mind. And when that fiction dissolves, something beautiful takes its place. Richard and I met at a grief support group. Both of us had lost spouses. Both of us thought that part of our lives was over. And I'll be honest with you, when he first suggested we go to dinner, I almost said no. I thought, what's the point? I'm 67. That chapter is closed. But something in me said yes. Maybe it was loneliness. Maybe it was curiosity. Maybe it was the way he looked at me like I was a person, not a category. Our first time being intimate, I was terrified. Not of him, of myself. I remember lying there thinking, he's going to see everything. every wrinkle, every scar, every year. And then something miraculous happened. He touched my face, looked me in the eyes, and said, "Maggie, I'm just so glad you're here." Not, "You're beautiful," not, "You look great for your age," just, "I'm glad you're here." And in that moment, I understood something I had been chasing for 5 decades. Intimacy is not about bodies. Intimacy is about presence. When you're young, you think intimacy is about friction and fireworks. You think it's about stamina and technique. You think it's about looking a certain way and performing a certain way. And yes, those things can be part of it, but they're the wrapping paper. They're not the gift. The gift is being truly seen. The gift is feeling truly safe. The gift is dropping every mask you've ever worn and standing naked, not just physically, but emotionally, and having someone say, "I see you, all of you, and I'm still here." Let me tell you something else that nobody talks about. When you're older, everything slows down. And that slowness is not a limitation, it's a liberation. At 30, intimacy was a sprint. At 78, it's a conversation. At 30, I was racing towards something. At 78, I'm already there. I'm not trying to get anywhere. I'm not trying to prove anything. I'm just present, fully, completely, wonderfully present. And here's another secret. When the pressure disappears, when the performance ends, when you stop trying to be desirable and just allow yourself to desire, something awakens in you that was dormant your whole life. I have felt things with Richard that I never felt with David. Not because Richard is better than David, but because I am better. I am more present. I am more honest. I am more willing to ask for what I want and give what I can give. You see, young people think that intimacy declines with age. They think it's a candle that slowly burns out, but they've got it backwards. Intimacy is a fire that you've been trying to light your whole life with wet matches. And when you finally stop trying so hard, when you finally let go of the performance, that's when the flame catches. That's when it burns. I talk to younger women sometimes. They ask me for advice about their marriages, their relationships, and I always tell them the same thing. Stop performing. Stop worrying about your body. Start worrying about your presence. Are you actually there when you're with him? Or are you running the checklist in your head? Are you feeling, or are you watching yourself feel? There's a difference, and that difference is everything. Richard is 81 now. He has arthritis. I have a bad hip. Some nights we don't do anything except hold each other. And you know what? Those nights are just as intimate as any other. Because intimacy isn't a physical act. Intimacy is a decision. It's a decision to be vulnerable. It's a decision to show up without armor. It's a decision to say, "This is me, all of me, and I trust you with it." I wish someone had told me this when I was 30. I wish someone had said, "Maggie, stop trying so hard. Stop performing. The thing you're looking for isn't in the mirror, it's in the moment." But nobody told me, because nobody talks about this. Because our culture is obsessed with young bodies and afraid of old ones. Because we've been sold a lie that says intimacy belongs to the young. Well, I'm here to tell you that's nonsense. Intimacy belongs to the present. And the older you get, the more present you become. So here's my invitation to you, whatever age you are. Stop running the checklist. Stop worrying about how you look. Start asking yourself, am I here? Am I really here? Because when you finally answer yes, everything changes. The wrinkles don't matter. The sags don't matter. The years don't matter. What matters is this moment, this breath, this touch, this choice to be fully alive with another human being. And I'll tell you something else. At 78, I'm not afraid of death. I've made peace with it. But I am grateful, more grateful than I can express, that I got to experience this, that I got to learn this truth before my time was up. Because if I had died at 60, still performing, still running the checklist, I would have missed the whole point. The secret nobody talks about? It's not a technique. It's not a position. It's not a pill. The secret is presence. The secret is permission. The secret is finally, after all these years, allowing yourself to be exactly who you are and discovering that who you are is enough, more than enough. Beautiful, actually, at any age. Now I want to hear from you. Tell me in the comments, have you experienced this shift? Are you still performing? Are you still running the checklist? Or have you found your way to presence? I read every single comment, every one. They remind me that I'm not alone in this, and neither are you. If this meant something to you, subscribe. Do it for the person you'll become in 20 years. Give yourself the chance to keep hearing these truths. And if you know someone who needs to hear this, someone who thinks intimacy is over for them, someone who's still performing, share this with them. It might be the most important gift you ever give. Because here's what I've learned in 78 years of living. The best things in life don't come when you're young and beautiful. They come when you're old enough to stop pretending and brave enough to finally be real.